Picture this: the housing market crashes and suddenly the whole U.S. economy feels the tremors. Ever wondered how a crash in the real estate market can ripple through the entire economy? In this video, we'll break down the domino effect, from plummeting home prices to nationwide economic turmoil. Learn how a single sector's downfall can lead to a financial chain reaction, affecting everything from banks to jobs and beyond. Let's explore this interconnected web of our financial system. From the constellations wheeling across the night sky, we are reminded of the vastness of the universe. Each star, a beacon of light, plays its part in the grand cosmic dance. Similarly, the U.S. real estate market is deeply interconnected with the broader economy. The subatomic particles, though invisible to the naked eye, are the building blocks of everything we know. The universe thrives on interconnectedness. Just as these particles interact in a delicate balance, so too do the systems that govern our world. From the smallest atom to the largest galaxy, everything is connected. And just like those celestial bodies bound by gravity, the systems here on Earth, particularly our economic systems, are also woven together in a delicate balance. The gears of our economy turn in unison, each one affecting the other. Today, we're focusing on one of those systems, one that might seem deceptively grounded. Real estate. Real estate is more than just land and buildings. It's the foundation upon which our lives are built. For instance, the real estate sector contributes approximately between 15 to 18% to the U.S. GDP. We often think of our homes as places of stability, of refuge. They are where we create memories, raise families, and find solace from the outside world. When home prices rise, homeowners feel wealthier and are more likely to spend, boosting consumer spending, which accounts for about 70% of the GDP. But the ground beneath our feet, both literally and metaphorically, can shift. Economic forces, much like natural ones, can cause tremors that shake the very foundations of our lives. Conversely, a decline in home prices can lead to reduced consumer spending and economic slowdown. When it does, the tremors can be felt across the entire economic landscape. The ripple effects of a real estate crash can spread far and wide, affecting not just homeowners, but entire communities and economies. During the 2008 financial crisis, the collapse of the housing market led to a loss of over $7 trillion in home equity, causing a significant contraction in the economy. This is the domino effect of a real estate crash. One event triggers another, leading to a cascade of consequences that can be difficult to stop once they begin. A real estate crash, much like a supernova, is a dramatic event. It can be sudden and explosive, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. It's characterized by a rapid and significant decline in housing prices. What was once a valuable asset can quickly become a burden. It's not just a local dip in one city or state. It's a widespread phenomenon that grips the nation. The effects can be felt from coast to coast, affecting millions of people. Imagine a constellation where stars begin to dim and disappear one by one. This is akin to the homes and properties losing their value, leaving a void in the economic landscape. That's the visual we might use to represent the cascading foreclosures and dwindling home values during such a crash. Each foreclosure is a star that fades, each lost home a piece of the constellation that disappears. In the vast expanse of the cosmos, events unfold across unimaginable stretches of time. Stars are born, exist, and die over millions of years. But here on Earth, the economic Consequences of a real estate crash are not bound by cosmic timescales. They happen quickly, often catching people off guard and leaving little time to react. They unfold on a human timescale, impacting the lives of everyday people, families striving for a place to call their own, and businesses both large and small. The effects are felt in real time, with real consequences for real people. History has shown us the devastating effects of real estate crashes. The Great Depression, for example, was marked by widespread foreclosures and economic hardship. In more recent times, the 2008 financial crisis brought the housing market to its knees, leading to a wave of foreclosures and a deep recession. Families were forced to leave their homes, their dreams shattered by forces beyond their control. The emotional toll of losing one's home cannot be overstated. Economists and policymakers have studied these events extensively, trying to understand the causes and find ways to prevent future crashes. The real estate market is cyclical, with periods of growth followed by periods of decline. Construction booms can lead to oversupply, which in turn can lead to a crash. When the market crashes, these unfinished developments become ghost towns, symbols of broken promises and lost investments. Foreclosed properties are often sold at auction, sometimes for a fraction of their original value. This can create opportunities for some, but for others it's a painful reminder of what they've lost. Communities come together to support those affected, but the road to recovery can be long and difficult. It takes time to rebuild trust and stability in the housing market. Governments play a crucial role in stabilizing the market, implementing policies to prevent future crashes and support those affected. Despite the challenges, there is always hope. People find new homes, communities rebuild, and life goes on. The ground beneath our feet may shift, but we have the resilience to adapt and overcome. Each new day brings the promise of a fresh start. Our homes are more than just buildings. They are the heart of our lives. They are where we find joy, love, and a sense of belonging. Together, we can build a future where everyone has a place to call home, where the ground beneath our feet is solid and secure. Just as the stars continue to shine in the night sky, so too will we continue to strive for a better, more stable world. The universe thrives on interconnectedness, and so do we. Imagine a universe where the laws of physics suddenly change, where gravity weakens and objects begin to drift away from their orbits. That's akin to what happens in a real estate crash. The very foundation of value, the price of homes, begins to erode. It's not just numbers on a spreadsheet. It's the dreams and aspirations tied to those homes that begin to feel the strain. As home prices plummet, a chilling effect sets in. Homeowners watch as the equity they've painstakingly built, often over years of careful saving and mortgage payments, begins to shrink. This erosion of a homeowner equity is like a cosmic dust cloud, obscuring the financial security they thought they had secured. And as home values fall below the outstanding mortgage amounts, the unthinkable becomes a reality for many: foreclosure. Families, once filled with the joy of homeownership, are forced to leave their homes, casting a shadow of uncertainty on their future. This domino, the decline in home prices, triggers a chain reaction. The very foundation of the housing market, the stability of home values, crumbles, sending shockwaves through the entire economy. Think of the intricate network of gas and dust that stretches across light years, forming the breeding grounds for stars. Our economy, in a way, is similar. It thrives on the interconnectedness of various sectors, each relying on the other. And as we delve deeper into this domino effect, we witness how the instability in the housing market begins to ripple outward. One of the most immediate and profound impacts is felt in the realm of consumer spending. After all, Consumer spending is the fuel that powers our economic engine. When homeowners witness their primary asset, their home, decline in value, their sense of financial security takes a hit. They become more cautious, more hesitant to spend. This reduction in consumer spending acts like a gravitational pull on businesses, particularly those in sectors sensitive to economic fluctuations. Durable goods, like cars and appliances, often seen as big-ticket items, are among the first to experience a decline in sales. People postpone these purchases, tightening their belts in the face of uncertainty. The economy, much like a star system, thrives on energy and momentum, and a significant portion of that energy comes from consumer spending, the lifeblood that keeps businesses running, people employed, and the overall system vibrant. But when a real estate crash hits, this vital energy source begins to falter. Imagine a star, its core no longer able to sustain nuclear fusion. The outward pressure diminishes and the star begins to collapse under its own gravity. Similarly, as home values plummet and uncertainty grips the market, consumers react by pulling back on spending, especially on big-ticket items. The reasons for this pullback are deeply rooted in human psychology and economic reality. For many, their home represents their most significant investment, their safe haven. When that haven is perceived as less secure, it triggers a natural instinct to conserve, to protect what they have. This decrease in consumer spending acts like a brake on the economic engine. Businesses facing reduced demand find their inventories piling up, their sales figures dwindling, and as the engine sputters, the ripple effects spread throughout the interconnected web of our economy. In the intricate web of finance, banks don't just hold on to the mortgages they provide. Instead, they bundle these loans into complex financial instruments called mortgage-backed securities. Think of it like weaving individual threads of home loans into a massive financial tapestry. These securities are then sold to investors seeking to capitalize on the housing market's growth. However, when the housing market takes a downturn and home values plummet, these mortgage-backed securities become fraught with risk. The tapestry begins to unravel, and the stability of the entire financial system is threatened. This is precisely what happened during the 2008 financial crisis. The domino effect began with subprime mortgages, loans given to borrowers with less than stellar credit. As these mortgages began to default, the intricate web of mortgage-backed securities began to unravel, sending shockwaves through the financial system. The crisis served as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of the housing market and the financial sector. When one falters, the other is bound to feel the tremors. The construction and real estate industry often serves as a leading indicator of the overall health of the economy. Like a canary in a coal mine, it can provide early warning signs of potential economic downturns. When the housing market thrives, demand for new homes soars. Construction companies ramp up their operations, hiring more workers and purchasing more materials. This surge in activity ripples through related industries, from lumber and concrete production to appliance manufacturing and interior design. However, when the housing market cools, the canary in the coal mine begins to falter. Demand for new homes dwindles, leading to a slowdown in construction activity. Construction companies may be forced to lay off workers, reduce their orders for materials, and scale back their operations. This slowdown can have a significant impact on the overall economy, as the construction and real estate industry is a major employer and a significant contributor to economic growth. Understanding the dynamics of this sector is crucial for anticipating potential economic shifts. The stock market, often seen as a barometer of economic health, is inextricably linked to the performance of various sectors, including real estate. This relationship is not just a simple correlation, but a complex interplay of multiple factors that influence both markets. Like a mirror reflecting the intricacies of a complex machine, stock prices often reflect the collective sentiment and expectations of investors regarding future economic prospects. These prices are influenced by a myriad of factors, including interest rates, government policies, and global economic conditions. When the real estate market flourishes, with rising home prices and robust construction activity, investors often view it as a sign of a healthy economy. This optimism is fueled by the belief that a strong real estate market indicates higher consumer confidence and spending power. This positive sentiment can translate into increased demand for stocks of companies operating in the real estate sector, such as home builders, construction material suppliers, and real estate investment trusts, aka REITs. These companies are seen as direct beneficiaries of a booming real estate market, and their stock prices often rise in tandem with property values. Conversely, a downturn in the real estate market characterized by falling home prices, declining construction activity, and a rise in foreclosures can send ripples of concern throughout the stock market. This downturn can be triggered by various factors, such as an increase in interest rates, economic recession, or changes in government policies. Investors, anticipating a potential slowdown in economic growth, may become more risk-averse, leading to a sell-off in real estate-related stocks. This cautious approach can spread to other sectors, causing a broader market decline as investors seek safer assets. This interconnectedness highlights the sensitive relationship between the real estate market and the stock market, where fluctuations in one can influence the other, reflecting the ebb and flow of investor sentiment and economic expectations. Understanding this relationship is crucial for investors, policymakers, and anyone interested in the broader economic landscape, as it provides insights into potential future trends and risks. When a house of cards collapses, it's not just the top card that falls. The entire structure crumbles. Each card relies on the stability of the others, and when one falters, the rest follow suit in a cascading failure. Similarly, a decline in the housing market triggers a ripple effect across the U.S. economy, ultimately impacting one of its most crucial elements, employment. The housing market is a cornerstone of economic stability, and its downturn can send shockwaves through various sectors. As home values plummet and foreclosures rise, the construction and real estate industries are the first to feel the tremors. Neighborhoods once bustling with activity become ghost towns, and construction sites are abandoned mid-project. The demand for new homes dwindles, construction projects grind to a halt, and the workforce in these sectors faces massive layoffs. Skilled laborers, contractors, and builders find themselves out of work, their livelihoods hanging in the balance. This is not merely a statistical shift. It represents hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of individuals suddenly grappling with financial uncertainty. Families are forced to tighten their budgets, and the dream of homeownership slips further out of reach for many. The impact, however, extends far beyond those directly employed in building and selling houses. The ripple effect touches every corner of the economy, creating a web of financial strain. Think of the vast network of industries intertwined with the real estate sector. Mortgage lenders, furniture manufacturers, appliance retailers all experience a sharp decrease in business as the demand for their products and services evaporates. Showrooms that once buzzed with customers now stand empty, and sales figures plummet. This decline in demand triggers a domino effect, leading to job losses across a multitude of sectors. The interconnected nature of the economy means that a hit to one industry reverberates through many others, from factory workers producing building materials to salespeople in furniture stores. The economic hardship spreads, impacting families and communities across the nation. The ripple effect of a housing market decline is profound, touching lives in ways that are both immediate and far-reaching, altering the economic landscape for years to come. Imagine a city as a grand, intricate clock, its gears representing various services, schools, parks, libraries, and public safety. These gears, however, require a constant supply of energy to function. Energy derived primarily from property taxes, a cornerstone of local government revenue. Now, picture a real estate crash, a seismic event that shakes this intricate mechanism. As property values plummet, so too does the tax revenue that fuels these essential services. The once reliable flow of funds dwindles, leaving cities and towns grappling with shrinking budgets and difficult choices. The impact is particularly profound in communities heavily reliant on property taxes. Schools, often the largest recipients of local funding, face cutbacks in programs, staffing, and resources. Parks and libraries, seen as non-essential by some, may face reduced hours, closures, or even complete shutdown, impacting access to vital community spaces. The consequences extend far beyond inconvenience. A decline in public services can lead to a decrease in the overall quality of life, making communities less attractive to residents and businesses alike. This downward spiral can further exacerbate the economic downturn, creating a vicious cycle that is challenging to break. The human mind, much like the cosmos itself, is a vast and complex landscape shaped by a myriad of forces. And just as a supernova can send shockwaves across light years, a real estate crash can trigger a ripple effect of psychological impact, casting a long shadow of uncertainty across individuals, families, and entire communities. The effects are not just financial, but deeply emotional, affecting the very core of human stability and well-being. The most immediate and palpable effect is often felt by homeowners. They find themselves in a precarious situation where the value of their most significant investment is in free fall. The security of owning a home, once a symbol of stability and achievement, can transform into a source of anxiety and fear as property values plummet and the threat of foreclosure looms large. The dream of homeownership turns into a nightmare, filled with uncertainty and dread. This financial vulnerability can permeate every aspect of life, affecting not just the pocketbook, but the psyche. This financial vulnerability can permeate every aspect of life, leading to stress, sleeplessness, and strained relationships. The constant worry about making ends meet can erode the mental health of even the most resilient individuals, leading to stress, sleeplessness, and strained relationships. The emotional toll can be devastating, causing rifts in families and friendships, and leading to a sense of isolation and helplessness. But the psychological impact extends far beyond those directly affected by the housing market downturn. The ripple effect touches everyone, creating collective sense of unease. The news cycle, saturated with stories of foreclosures, job losses, and economic hardship, creates a pervasive atmosphere of fear and anxiety. This constant bombardment of negative news can lead to a sense of doom and gloom, affecting the overall mood of society. Creates a pervasive atmosphere of fear and anxiety. This collective unease can lead to a decline in consumer confidence, further exacerbating the economic downturn as people tighten their belts and postpone major purchases. The cycle of fear and reduced spending can be difficult to break, leading to prolonged economic stagnation. The reluctance to spend money affects businesses, leading to layoffs and further economic decline. The psychological impact is not merely an abstract concept, it manifests in tangible ways. The stress and anxiety can have real measurable effects on physical health, leading to a range of stress-related illnesses. It manifests in tangible ways. Increased rates of depression, anxiety, and even domestic violence are often observed in the wake of economic downturns. The strain on mental health services can be immense as more people seek help for their emotional and psychological struggles. Increased rates of depression, anxiety, and even domestic violence are often observed in the wake of economic downturns. The community's resilience is tested as support systems are stretched to their limits. The stress of financial instability can exacerbate existing mental health conditions and create new challenges for individuals and families already grappling with difficult circumstances. The road to recovery is long and arduous, requiring both economic and emotional support, and create new challenges for individuals and families already grappling with difficult circumstances. The journey through the shadow of uncertainty is fraught with challenges, but with support and resilience, it is possible to find a path to stability and hope. As homeowners grapple with foreclosures and declining property values, the landscape of the housing market is undergoing a significant transformation. The once stable and secure environment of homeownership is now fraught with uncertainty and financial strain. Families who have invested their life savings into their homes are now facing the harsh reality of losing their properties. This situation is not just a financial crisis, but an emotional one as well, as the dream of home ownership slips away for many. Many are forced to seek shelter in the rental market. This shift is not just a simple change of address. It represents a fundamental alteration in their way of life. Homeowners who once enjoyed the stability and predictability of fixed mortgage payments are now entering a rental market that is often unpredictable and competitive. The transition from owning to renting can be jarring, as it involves not only finding a new place to live, but also adjusting to a different financial and social dynamic. This influx of displaced homeowners creates a surge in demand for rental properties, leading to a crowded and competitive rental market. The increased demand means that rental properties are being snapped up quickly, often leading to bidding wars and higher rental prices. For many, this means settling for less desirable living conditions or paying more than they had anticipated. The rental market, once a refuge for those seeking temporary housing, is now a battleground where securing a lease can be as challenging as buying a home, putting upward pressure on rental prices. As demand continues to outstrip supply, landlords find themselves in a position to increase rents, sometimes significantly. This upward pressure on rental prices is felt most acutely in urban areas where the demand for housing is already high. The rising cost of rent can have a cascading effect on the overall cost of living, making it more difficult for individuals and families to make ends meet. For those on fixed incomes or with limited financial resources, the increase in rent can be particularly devastating. Imagine a celestial body's gravitational pull drawing in everything within its reach. This analogy helps to illustrate the powerful forces at play in the housing market. Just as a celestial body exerts a gravitational pull that affects everything around it. The dynamics of the housing market have far-reaching implications. The pull of the rental market is strong, drawing in those who have been displaced from homeownership and creating a ripple effect that impacts the entire housing ecosystem. Similarly, a contracting housing market exerts a pull on the rental market, altering its dynamics. The relationship between the housing market and the rental market is complex and interdependent. When the housing market contracts, it creates a vacuum that the rental market must fill. This shift can lead to changes in rental prices, availability of rental properties, and the overall stability of the rental market. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for policymakers, landlords, and renters alike as they navigate the challenges of a changing housing landscape. This surge in demand isn't uniform. It varies significantly from one region to another, depending on local economic conditions, housing policies, and the severity of the housing market downturn. In some areas, the demand for rental properties may be relatively stable, while in others, it may be overwhelming. This uneven surge in demand can create pockets of extreme competition and high rental prices, making it difficult for renters to find affordable housing in certain regions. It's most pronounced in areas hit hardest by the housing market downturn, where foreclosures are rampant and homeowners are most affected. These areas often see a dramatic increase in the number of people seeking rental properties, leading to a shortage of available units and a spike in rental prices. The impact of the housing market downturn is felt most acutely in these regions, where the combination of high foreclosure rates and limited rental options creates a perfect storm of housing instability, where foreclosures are rampant and homeowners are most affected. The sight of foreclosure signs dotting neighborhoods is a stark reminder of the financial struggles faced by many homeowners. These signs represent not just the loss of property, but the loss of stability and security for countless families. The ripple effects of these foreclosures extend beyond the individual homeowners, impacting entire communities and contributing to the overall instability of the housing market. As rental demand rises and available units dwindle, the competition for rental properties becomes fierce. This increased competition can lead to higher rental prices and a more challenging environment for renters. The scarcity of available units means that renters must act quickly to secure housing, often making compromises on location, size, and amenities. For many, the search for affordable rental housing becomes a stressful and time-consuming process. Landlords often find themselves in a position to increase rents, sometimes significantly. The increased demand for rental properties gives landlords the leverage to raise rents, knowing that there will always be someone willing to pay the higher price. This can lead to a cycle of rising rents, where each new lease sets a higher benchmark for the next. For renters, this means facing the prospect of rent increases with each lease renewal, adding to the financial strain and uncertainty of renting. This creates a challenging environment for renters, particularly those who were already cost-burdened. For individuals and families who were already struggling to make ends meet, the increase in rental prices can be overwhelming. The financial burden of higher rent can force renters to make difficult choices, such as cutting back on other essential expenses or taking on additional work to cover the cost of housing. The stress and uncertainty of the rental market can take a toll on renters' mental and physical well-being, particularly those who were already cost-burdened. For these renters, the increase in rent can push them to the brink of financial instability. The term cost burdened refers to households that spend a significant portion of their income on housing, leaving little room for other necessities such as food, healthcare, and transportation. As rental prices rise, the number of cost-burdened households increases, exacerbating the challenges faced by low and moderate income renters. For those already struggling to afford housing, the situation becomes even more dire. The rising cost of rent can force renters to make difficult decisions about their living arrangements. Some may be forced to move to less desirable neighborhoods or accept substandard living conditions in order to find affordable housing. Others may find themselves on the brink of homelessness, unable to keep up with the rising cost of rent. The financial strain of rising rents can have a profound impact on renters' quality of life and overall well-being. This price surge can be devastating. The impact of rising rents is felt most acutely by those who are already vulnerable. For low-income renters, the increase in rent can mean the difference between having a stable home and facing eviction. The financial strain of higher rent can lead to a cycle of debt and financial instability, making it difficult for renters to get back on their feet. The emotional toll of housing insecurity can also be significant, leading to increased stress, anxiety, and other mental health challenges. They may be forced to make difficult choices, such as relocating to more affordable areas, accepting substandard living conditions, or allocating a larger portion of their income to housing, leaving less for other essential needs. These choices can have long-term consequences for renters' financial stability and overall well-being. Relocating to a more affordable area may mean longer commutes, less access to quality schools and services, and a lower quality of life. Accepting substandard living conditions can have negative impacts on renters' health and safety. Allocating a larger portion of income to housing can leave renters with less money for other essential needs such as food, healthcare, and transportation, or allocating a larger portion of their income to housing, leaving less for other essential needs. This financial strain can lead to difficult choices and trade-offs as renters must balance the cost of housing with other essential expenses. For many, this means cutting back on necessities such as food, healthcare, and transportation in order to make ends meet. The financial burden of rising rents can also lead to increased debt and financial instability, making it difficult for renters to achieve long-term financial security. The ripple effects of a housing market crash, like the aftershocks of a tremor, can be felt far and wide. The impact of a housing market crash extends beyond the immediate loss of property and financial stability. It can have far-reaching consequences for the entire housing ecosystem, affecting everything from rental prices to the availability of affordable housing. The ripple effects of a housing market crash can also impact the broader economy, leading to job losses, reduced consumer spending, and overall economic instability. This increased demand also has implications for those who were already renting. Existing renters may face rent increases as landlords adjust to market pressures. The increased competition for rental properties can also make it more difficult for existing renters to find suitable and affordable housing options. For many, this means facing the prospect of rent increases with each lease renewal, adding to the financial strain and uncertainty of renting. Existing renters may face rent increases as landlords adjust to market pressures. The increased demand for rental properties gives landlords the leverage to raise rents, knowing that there will always be someone willing to pay the higher price. This can lead to a cycle of rising rents where each new lease sets a higher benchmark for the next. For renters, this means facing the prospect of rent increases with each lease renewal, adding to the financial strain and uncertainty of renting. They might also face greater competition when renewing leases or searching for new rentals, making it more challenging to find suitable and affordable housing options. The increased competition for rental properties can lead to higher rental prices and a more challenging environment for renters. The scarcity of available units means that renters must act quickly to secure housing, often making compromises on location, size, and amenities. For many, the search for affordable rental housing becomes a stressful and time-consuming process. As we've journeyed through the interconnected realms of the U.S. economy, we've come to understand the intricate and delicate balance that sustains it. Each sector, each industry, and each individual plays a role in this vast and complex system. The economy isn't just a collection of numbers and statistics. It is a living, breathing entity that affects and is affected by the lives of millions of people. We've witnessed firsthand the domino effect of a real estate crash, from the initial tremors felt by homeowners facing foreclosure to the widespread economic contraction that ripples through businesses, industries, and individuals across the nation. The consequences are far-reaching and profound. And the real estate market, often seen as a barometer of economic health, can trigger a cascade of events that impact every corner of the economy. The decline in home values erodes homeowner equity, which in turn reduces consumer spending. Homeowners who once felt secure in their investments find themselves grappling with financial uncertainty. This reduction in spending affects local businesses, leading to a chain reaction of economic decline. The ripple effect extends beyond the immediate community, influencing regional and even national economic trends. Renters, too, are not immune to these shifts. As homeownership becomes less attainable, the demand for rental properties increases, driving up costs. This creates a challenging environment for renters who face rising costs and dwindling affordable options. The lack of affordable housing exacerbates social inequalities and places additional strain on already vulnerable populations. The broader economic consequences are stark. Job losses and business closures become more common as the economic contraction deepens. Small businesses, often the backbone of local economies, struggle to survive. The loss of jobs leads to decreased consumer spending, creating a vicious cycle that is difficult to break. The impact is felt not just in the private sector, but also in public services, as shrinking government revenues lead to budget cuts and reduced services. The domino effect of a real estate crash serves as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of our economic system. Just as the stars in a galaxy are bound by gravity, so too are the various sectors of our economy linked by intricate webs of interdependence. When one sector experiences a significant shock, the repercussions are felt throughout the system, impacting businesses, industries, and individuals far removed from the initial epicenter. Understanding this interconnectedness is crucial for making informed decisions, both individually and collectively. It underscores the importance of responsible home ownership, sound financial planning, and a well-regulated financial system. These elements are not just abstract concepts. They are the foundation upon which economic stability is built. When one sector experiences a shock, the ripple effects can be profound. Businesses that rely on consumer spending may find themselves struggling to stay afloat. Industries that depend on a stable housing market, such as construction and real estate, face significant challenges. The interconnected nature of the economy means that no sector is isolated. The health of one impacts the health of all. Responsible homeownership is a key component of economic stability. It involves not just the purchase of a home, but also the ongoing management of that investment. Homeowners must be mindful of their financial situation, plan for the future, and make informed decisions. This responsibility extends to policymakers who must create an environment that supports sustainable homeownership and protects against the risks of asset bubbles and excessive debt. Sound financial planning is essential for both individuals and the broader economy. It involves setting realistic goals, creating a budget, and making informed investment decisions. A well-regulated financial system provides the framework within which these decisions can be made. Regulations are not just bureaucratic red tape. They are safeguards that protect the economy from the excesses and risks that can lead to crises. Policies that promote sustainable economic growth are vital. These policies must balance the need for growth with the need to protect vulnerable populations. This includes measures to ensure affordable housing, support for small businesses, and investments in education and infrastructure. By creating a stable and inclusive economic environment, we can mitigate the risks posed by asset bubbles and excessive debt. As we conclude our exploration of this critical topic, let us remember that the economy is not some abstract force, but a reflection of our collective choices and actions. By learning from past mistakes, we can avoid repeating them. History is replete with examples of economic missteps from the Great Depression to the more recent financial crisis. Each of these events offers lessons that can guide our future decisions. Embracing innovation is key to building a more sustainable economic system. Innovation drives growth, creates jobs, and improves living standards. It requires collaboration between the public and private sectors, investment in research and development, and a willingness to take risks. By fostering a culture of innovation, we can create an economy that is resilient and adaptable to change. We can build a brighter future for ourselves and generations to come through collective efforts. This involves not just economic policies, but also social and environmental considerations. A sustainable economy is one that balances growth with the well-being of people and the planet. By working together, we can create an economy that is not only prosperous, but also equitable and sustainable for future generations. If you found this video insightful, please give us a thumbs up and share this video. Together, we can make informed decisions and build a better future.